to fill up the seats in front. You just join us. Seats in front is empty.
Bulavinaka, Namaste, and good afternoon. I'm here as the moderator for a very special program tonight, and it's the Fijian Media Association Town Hall Forum, live from Korovou. My name is Vijay Narayan, and I'm the News Director for Communications Fiji Limited.
And I'm Moses Rangio from the Fiji Broadcasting Corporation. A very warm welcome to everyone that is joining us tonight, wherever you're listening in from and watching from. Thank you very much for joining us live tonight as well. And we acknowledge the land that we are currently on, the Matangalio Tuidolo, na Koro Matadodau Tikino Namalata na Sanabaturango Teilevu. Unawalevu for joining us tonight.
Now, this is the 6th Town Hall Forum, and through the Fijian Media Association, we started off in Savusavu, then on to Lambasa, then on to the Western Division. We had 2 there in Tavu and Ba, and of course, earlier this week in Levuka on Wednesday night. Today, here at Tailevu Hotel in Korovou, we want to hear your voices, and we want to hear your questions. A lot of people have gathered here for those who are watching us on live stream, and we will ensure that this is not a forum to have long speeches. This is a forum where you get direct questions and direct answers.
And every issues that will be raised tonight goes into a follow-up register, and that the Fiji Media Association will keep, and we will report back on what happens after tonight, so that nothing said in this room gets lost in the wash.
The Prime Minister was invited to be here this afternoon, and he had earlier confirmed. He has withdrawn due to an emergency, and we acknowledge that. We will keep moving on in terms of our forums, the town hall forums, very important, as when our leaders get elected, we have to ensure that they are held accountable, they are answerable to the people, there are no special favors for anyone. The invitation stands for everyone, and the people's questions will still be asked. And tonight, from the government side, we have the Minister for Justice and Acting Attorney General, Siromi Turanga, and we had invited the Minister for Public Works. He was in Levuka, but unfortunately, he cannot make it. We've got the Minister for Foreign Affairs and External Trade, Mr. Sakyasi Nditoka, and also from the government side, we'd like to acknowledge government MPs and former Deputy Prime Ministers, Mr. Manoa Kamikamida, and also Professor Biman Prasad. We also have assistant ministers, Assistant Minister for Transport and Infrastructure, so any works-related issues or transport-related issues. We have Naisa Tuinadeva here, and also Assistant Minister for Health, Penyoni Ravunawa.
And from the opposition, we have the leader of the opposition, the Honorable Inia Seriratu, and also opposition member of parliament, Ms. Premila Kumar, with us tonight. And we also acknowledge the presence of every representatives from relevant stakeholders with us tonight, the Fiji Roads Authority, Police, EFL, Water Authority of Fiji, and also Health and Agriculture, as they will be responding to your questions that you will come up with tonight.
So we expect you to get ready with your questions. I'll start it off. We had asked or fielded people to send in questions, mainly from the people in Tailevu, and one of the biggest issues that has been discussed is regarding the availability and usage of drugs. We have been told that it is being sold openly and being used even by the younger generation. And the Turangani Koro of Nauluvatu village here in Tailevu says, drug abuse has reached a point where village elders and parents can no longer control the problem despite years of counseling. So let me put this question directly, starting with the government and then of course to the police. What is being done about it? Because people are saying that this continues to happen. Even the dealers from outside are now staying here and making sure that their drug trade is thriving. We'll start off with the Minister for Justice and Acting AG.
Thank you, Vijay. Government, one of the big policy that it endorsed was the anti-narcotics strategy. We came on, we put that policy because there was nothing existing at that time. There were a lot of gaps. Watching from as a member of the public prior to coming to government, we knew there were problems, but there were, I would say, no concrete action taken by government. Out of that anti-narcotics strategy, there is a police bill currently before the police standing committee, and an anti-narcotics bill currently before the AG's office to be tabled in August. So government, through also partnership with its donors and partners, have elevated this issue. So people do understand and appreciate the problems. What we are encouraging is, it is not the sole responsibility of the government alone. The Vanua, the traditional leaders, Luluni, Matangali, Nebuza must come on board. The church must also, and that was we have seen. 2 weeks ago, I was in Nakelo, where there was a youth rally of youths, about 100 people. The message was same, how they can be responsible citizens to assist the police, rebuild the nation, and that's what we'll continue to do. We hope, I think most recently, there has been a joint operation between the Fiji military forces and the police. That has helped in a way. Cabinet on Tuesday endorsed a operation center in Suba, where both agencies, the police and the military, will be working together on a long-term basis to combat this problem.
Minister, this is a serious issue. People are saying that this is happening openly. I know that you said you will refer it to the police. Do you want to say anything? I'll also ask the former Minister for Defense, because he has made the comment that nothing much was being done about it.
Well, this is my comment. Nothing was done by the previous government. I have to be honest. Now you can see people are talking about the issue. People are coming out together. And it's not going to be solved overnight. You know, yes, the church is going, it's promoting, advocating the messages of youths in each way, every space. Likewise, traditional leaders. But we know some people have asked for a stronger sentence. The current penalty for drugs is life imprisonment, but it will be dependent upon the weight of the drugs and the class of drugs. So there can be no more serious offense unless there has been some strong call for death penalty. Obviously, that is an issue that has to be dealt with the Constitution because of the important promise of right to life.
Thank you. Former Minister for Defense and current opposition leader, he's saying nothing much was done about this issue?
Thank you. This is an issue that has been there for a long while in Fiji, and government has taken all the necessary steps to combat this serious issue. It's not correct to say that nothing was done during the term of the previous government. We are not here to debate. There was the Anti-Narcotics Bureau, in fact, was something that has been in the pipeline for quite a long while. But the legislation that needs to come in place to ensure that the functions of the Anti-Narcotics Bureau is implemented was not there to support what has already been in place. But despite that, the fact is what the previous government did, they tried to isolate the anti-drug unit from the Fiji police force for obvious reasons, because there has been a lot of allegations about corruption within the Fiji police force, and that is something that the police commissioner deals with. But in terms of the drugs and how the drug problem is addressed, what government then did was to try and separate the anti-drug unit or the drug unit from the rest of the police work. There were efforts to relocate them, and I recall that before the changeover in government, we were hosting them at the facility in Nasese.
Mr. Seriratu, before we go to the police, we've seen many cases, many drug hauls in the past few years. The previous government, there's allegations that it was happening, but it was not being revealed. Can you be direct and just answer that question? Were you aware?
During my term as the commissioner, as the minister responsible, the police holds special drug briefings only to the commissioner, occasionally to the prime minister, and of course to the minister as well. We are aware of the drug problems, but in terms of how it is being addressed, that is the responsibility of the police commissioner, and any support that needs to be provided to the commissioner of police because of the role of the commissioner according to the constitution, that is something that government tries to address through the office of the minister. We are aware because of those special briefings, and those briefings are not provided to any other people because of obvious reasons.
We'll now refer the question to ACP Melikisateki, who is with us tonight. Sir, you've been in the force also for these past years. What can you make a comment on that?
Naka, thank you for the question. I believe operationally, what the police has been doing, and we're dividing our focus in our war against drugs on two streams. One is proactive, on which we are attending to requests for awareness, and the other one is attending to informations that are coming through from community within the Korovou operations area, and attending to the report that they are coming up with. The challenge here is the cooperation between the police and the members of the community. We all know any drugs cases will have to be presented in court. And we cannot take to court cases that are incomplete. We need to satisfy all the ingredients. And may I use this opportunity to ask for the assistance of the Vanua, the Lotu, the neighborhood, the villages, as alluded by the Honorable Minister, that's key to our war against drugs. Apart from that, we will only be chasing the informations that do not have any substantive weight for us to present it in court. We've done what we need to do. I can assure the forum this afternoon that yes, we have again been budgeted this year for these important functions. We are not shying away with that responsibility. We continue to assure that we will look at the drug issue and we will attend to any report of cases that are reported to us in regards to drugs. Our 1681 is always available. It's a call center operating at 24/7. If you are not happy about any report that you have lodged to the Korovou police station to bring it into context for Korovou, then we are happily ready to attend to you at that level so that you can be taken care of with your report. Pinaka.
Honorable ACP Melikisateki, do we have questions from the floor? Please do introduce yourself, where you're from, and your question tonight.
Bulavinaka, my name is Noshimali. I'm the director of a commercial minimart. I operate 3 Kavabas and minimarts around Suva, Namboa, and I'm a baby to Korovou, 6 months baby to Korovou. Relating to the drugs issue, what has been brought up, and I followed the Honorable Acting AG regarding that. With my Kavabas, Kavaba is a link, it could be a link to the drugs issues, but as for me, with the economical situation at the moment, we advise the K9 and the police to come and do random checks. It affects the customers, but we need good customers in my bar. And Honorable AG had visited one of the bars one time. So that's what we do to prevent, to work with the community, with the government, to deal with the drugs. And the other something relating to this is to drugs is, I would like to pose a question to Honorable AG, is that has the opening hours for Kava Bar been gazetted, or it is just a cabinet decision to close that one?
Honorable AG.
My apology, I don't have the notes with me. I'll take note. But we remember that this issue was taken at cabinet for them to close at 1 p.m.
1 a.m.
Yes.
At 1 a.m.
1 a.m. 1 a.m.
Okay, the reason to raise this issue is, as I say, we upload by the rules of the government. We close all our cover bars at 1 o'clock, before 1, but police has to be fair on other business communities to check the other cover bars which are operating till 6 in the morning. I am not naming anybody. Everybody is struggling in this situation, but yes, there is things. I drive around on odd hours from Korovou to Suva. I come here daily and I see the numbers.
Your point is, what's your question?
My question is, police has to enforce more and fairly to deal. If we close at 1 o'clock, how come the others are operating till 6 in the morning?
The police are here. Have they raised this issue with you, Fiji Police Force? Has this ever been raised with the Fiji Police Force? Has it been acted upon?
We had our briefing before we come into this forum, and it's not very clear, but I believe our officers are taking note of this issue now, and given that we are going to account for what we say today, we ensure that we are going to attend to that.
How is the monitoring system with the Fiji Police Force in terms of what he has raised, that some police are only checking on some cover bars and nightclubs and not others?
In terms of our monitoring system, we will work with the resources that we have. I believe that there may be some gap in between our law enforcement in that regard from his perspective. But for us this afternoon, I can assure that this is an area that we look into if there is any weight on the issue that is now raised.
Thank you. On to the next question.
Thank you.
And we'd like to see that we're moving from looking into things to actually doing things. That would be good as well. On to the next question.
Sambula winak. Ngana dongko skili wa ketempo ko dulu nyumburi ruah. Wa tahun cengan do kitu kini gelena osar. Do cengan nunggu tar. Au se apply ta tu mana nunggu libu menarun dulu rusabul ketul. Mea da botu minggu osar liliu taluiri au si tunga go se warga tu nunggu libu. Ko ngana nunggu tar ne kabinani ko.
I think that question is forwarded to the representatives from the EFL. Anyone from EFL here this afternoon that can answer that
Tambanan
question?
ni Wasochao. Natambanan ni rural. Lo apply tu natamban ni rural. O se warga tsunga go menarun dulu rusabul ketul. Mea da bo menagono.
DPO Central, are you present?
Yeah, I can answer that question. Kemuni na mundo program, na mundo liba sa action program ko menalo ko na magibayla ko. So I'm confirming that it's in our program right now, and that will be addressed in the 26-27 financial year. Andun.
Andun nasa walyo.
Yeah. On to the next question.
Na dangsanga o ilete sabai. Au ngone sa tinga ni puno na malat. O mat sa tinga nga ni tikina na puno na malat. Mata sanga ngon rasanga mero ni do sa muntan kini tutuk mata tene buku ni bole ni songo me madula. Kelas artu sa sileo tina korongo e tina kalimnon dolu e na buku ni korongo. Mena runon dolu tina kabitu. Sa runon dolu subulu kawanongo. Sembarangan dona kena tuku matata se ngol sa mai na buku ni walasangan ni Songo. Na satu sana kena risiti sa bangole sa wana turangan na komisna. Sartu sabing komosa kan sulu-sulu sango. Ya na kena sangai sa kami lepas tamberi sa kan na wal Songo. Sembar satu ngani se don kena tutung matata. Meka satu mansing ni kuah. Eno buku sangan ni bibo trote ta kiri bagi sa chiko in dorubu nongo ina malata. Kelan na korosombo na koroturanga matau kelan ni doran den rele bos tabi sa chika. Nan roboka wele wala takasa chuk na ling ni takaka. Eno buku sangan ni tabi. Eno buku sangan ni ngonsala. Kelan di santung rakita sa alu besar tunga babina kan ngonsala. Kena sini keli bagi babina kan na ikeli ko vivi bagi sombu. Merani tabi asangan no wai meng wala sangan itumba. Kena pakatal ngaki na Korovou nunga. Eno lo muni tikino na malata. Kila ni sa ngolewat cindo na tutuk berton na tambana ni ngon sala. Kila ratu sangan rap satu boleh pun nabi buke na buku sangan ni rodham. Na rodham ko kila ni pita na boleh kaya bono na ngol pas taki wendeli di pita na boleh ratu kaya pita na lori. Era tatung kucuk bono bi matani balik juga kalau matani silindo matikina. Usa kira sa cikina kira rinto sakana bibuke en buku ni rodham.
Can we just have a response on that from So the question is based on the road issues here in Tailevu in some of these villages, and we'll ask representatives from the FRA, the road infrastructure.
Laka sa viko bisaki ko na batutu sambi chumai, and we've also incorporated regarding the drainage works and road upgrade in Matadodau. And for the village up in Venunga, we'll come and visit the roadside and we'll do the assessment regarding the road humps. We have already constructed a few road humps this side, but we'll come and look into that after this.
Nasaka. Dotalangan bukusangan ni seawall.
The gentleman is also raising an issue about a village hall, rather. Minister, can you just reply to that?
Naka, iyo vital no ampalau to kada vital no me na korbaturang matula. Na runun dulu cin kavita area saban tu ni cikin lebi na mama koromen na tarakina na ya bikusin senta. Sabakan tu ni tu matadula. Wasa ta butu citelang ay pelment. Nakena lang ganingir to ngoliani ka orto nakena tambana. Ngai siang ambiakin ni rto undua wate ke na puno metarakina. Ngirto nakena tambana ngorto na koika wate ke koika wate ke ndo terto nakena tambana korto ndong karaba. Ni ndo ngana kena IOM. Ngai ngona ngando na taberlele ba ya sarto. Yo sa dingo michiko ni sa chiko na sendi sa so michiko. Wa biwana numitale pona turanga komisina central. Na chikinang ko. Me na pa muria kero ni na laure me na pa oti na takatakan ko iyo kembali se toso chukan ken vitala no me sangai me na takan na ken na takatak me na rawkin iyo sa ko nga na ken na pa non tulak me na ayam bateke na koi kasasyang sasyanga na matintu saranga sa na duren me ken na kan andar kami na takaban na bali. We were talking about the Matadula Evacuation Center. It was first mooted in 2017 for a few evacuation centers to be constructed. One in Ra, in Rokobuaka, Rokobuaka, one in Tailevu, two in Tailevu, one in Maumi and one in Matadula, and another one in Bonoliu. So that has changed. That was changed when they came to Matadala. I think there was some disagreement about the site where the evacuation center was going to be constructed. And since there's disputes like that happening, the donors of the project decided they were not going to carry on with the project.
I guess you have one more question, sir?
Nasa kana butu sangat na klan belum ni yang bagungo ratoro sa tukunan raboto-boto ira sa kana turangan ni bonua. Sa mai tau tu, wacha sa lomini batet telgo sa ngola talmai kina na raboto-boto. Na tarusanga chiko, na begdit tagi na ka rasim bersa tun ratura. Me lomini ambengo, se sapa kurisanga na toso sa di satu. Pinasaka.
Torang matanggali, also matangai. For your information, payment, yes, have been delayed. The reason is because of the pending report. But payment, once the report is submitted, payment will continue. I think it's your responsibility to liaise with your district officials and the provincial office.
Nasaka.
Nakabaliw.
Yes, thank you. You're watching the Town Hall Forum here live from Tailevu Hotel. And just while we're still talking about infrastructure, the Fiji Media Association has just returned from Tailevu North College. And we saw that due to a tornado in 2020, April 2020, 2 classroom blocks were destroyed and had to be rebuilt. Up to today, it's not rebuilt. So I'll start off with the government, because they said now the Embassy of Japan has said they will rebuild. It's been 6 years in the waiting, and right now the tents have been given for our students to study in the tents. Why has it taken so long?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, there's really no excuse, Satish. What we had tried to do was get the funding organized, but just because of other competing priorities, those took priority over this one. But work continues to try and get it done for this financial year, and I'm sure the provincial, divisional planning officer, who's now here, and the PAT level are taking notes furiously down in the room there, and I'm sure they'll take note of that.
Okay, it hasn't been addressed since 2020. We've got the 2 former deputies. Anyone from Ministry of Education here as well?
Maybe the Minister of Education should answer this, but let me just make this comment, Vijay, that when we came in, there were several schools, particularly in Banua Levu after Cyclone Yasa, needed to be built, and in the last 3 years, we have built a significant number of schools damaged by Cyclone Yasa. Some were left over from Cyclone Winston days. So this could be one of those examples, but as you said, it shouldn't take 6 years to fix a school just near Suva. And perhaps, the Minister of Education, and education has been allocated consistently over the last 3 years a very, very significant amount of budget, and a good component of that also has been for infrastructure. So I hope the Ministry of Education people will take this on and not delay it anymore.
We'll refer it to the leader of opposition. The previous government was still in power when this happened. Why did not the previous government take any action on this?
After the assessments were made, government sought the assistance of the Japanese government, JICA. This is for the rehabilitation of Cyclone Winston and Cyclone Harold as well. Unfortunately, Tailevu North, they had a few other blocks as well that has been fixed, but not this one, because this was sort of vocational, and they had their gym and some other things in there as well. So what the Ministry of Education did was it prioritized the need in the school. And unfortunately, this building was left out. It was not in the list that was assisted through JICA. So the commitment that was made by the Ministry of Education back then was for the asset management unit of the Ministry of Education to look into it. If they can fund it, well and good. Otherwise, it will be, they will look for assistance from outside. But let me make the point that, again, the prioritization was made then, and this was sort of the lower priority in terms of all the other requests that were put into the ministry, and of course including Telebu North as well, because there were other buildings that were fixed as well.
Honorable Pramila?
I think we tend to forget that after Cyclone Winston, until 2022, $250 million were spent in rebuilding schools around the country, because Cyclone Winston had actually destroyed a number of schools. So that had to be done, and then in 2020, the funds were allocated, but it had to be redeployed because of the COVID. And also the restrictions, etc., made it a bit slow in terms of serving those schools that were damaged, not only by what you have just said in 2020, but by other cyclones that came along. So it was a question of prioritizing.
We can have competing priorities, but those children, the tents are there ready for them. We saw them studying in the sun today, and it's been 6 years. That's a reality. We can talk about competing priorities, but that's the reality, and I'm glad government is saying in this financial year something will be done. The Japanese government has given the funding for the rebuilding of 2 classroom blocks. It wasn't just the gym, they're actually classroom blocks, and the hall had to be changed into an actual classroom, and some of the classes are studying in those tents now. We'll move to the next question.
Make a comment on that. We are forgetting that in 2020 and 2021, the schools were all closed.
The fact remains about what it is today.
So the children were all at home.
We can talk about it all night. But
Yeah, the children were all at home. And then, as Honorable Leader had just mentioned, that the priority was done where the classrooms were fixed. This area that was damaged was the recreational area.
There were 2 classroom blocks which we saw today that was clearly pointed out by the officials. Thank you. On to the next question.
Naka ngā o seilo sila moveri, mina koronga mate ngani koron do biti koronga ngani gori, o nei lenga, au dabutu mina lenga. Na taro e na sanga sutar ni balabu, kila na lega au kila ngani no elo baka ngani no sukaike, sana sami ba vina kana nungu taro. Tiki buni ambakingo, arto ngole mai na korona tambani ni pito saki na bono mama ta sena LT. Arto mai bi bagarara mata ke na buku ni kana ngandrebi min dua na base ni taxi me tarana ni tu sani ngoni sala no kor. To mai bi bagarara mata ki na requirement ke der to bina kata ki to sa rakaba. E domingo sa taro na office sa ndondo na liba ndondo no wai io kitunga sa sanga chugo na leuni songo me baga ni kana chemen jugo me kitu kilasi sa dava chuibe na ila kola ko tu bina kata me pa mata tata ki chuma bikitu umbaleta na o irna leuni songo irna leuni koro koro chugo no koro era sangan re pasar balebu na kena vakana te kristian go meroni non rai buri nila ini mai ado chuna lenga go o kila ni roni somi bono don bikitu na tarum balete me na ngole ni mona li kagi batale na mbose me kime bibusaki au sana bogan jota bono don na buni ke na mbera chu na kai sa tara chu me kor na kena toso ani tu te kibis kena busa.
Anyone from the land transport?
Ya, kimuni ngona son no mundo taro. Nangau na sarangango sabi tano chungo ngore ni bang jota kitala ni bertono mundo ni songo na kambal tano mundo taxi be sa mata tu sawe asale vaka ni kona kena andu na tabo na GS sport orto salga ni orto li reida sa vaka i bola taki vaka mata ni taki Sa watching ko misa kamburgay. Mo nakena pa kamata ni tutaki. Sa matatatali chunga na gono ko e vida na base na a vida na permit na kana ron mundo base. Au suru ni dabu teke batani sember chunga nakena pa kamata ni tutaki. Ya na bunu sa toka kina na vita no ambra tra taxi base ke mundo ortono no tutanga na wini buka mundo no chunga mai rango na via sei vitale so. Via dio sanga bulu ke chunga na base ko sa Chico na wakatanga tinga de bochu nga mena wakamate tutaki wiliki na no mundo.
Na vale. Na vale. Na sa vale.
Kurang matanggali. Taruh. Tanggali. Nyonya bata taruh tigo ni taruh tigo ibe. Bol da ni taruh tigo kena.
Taruh juga na bol ni itu saya kena puno mamata.
Oni taruh kena. Di sini mata tamai na kena sau.
Saya sagai mata tamai ni sagai bukan jauh mea begini.
Kalau tu kumini rani tigo ngai na koro. Ninggiri tengah nondo tu namba. Sendona pono ni bitar tara nomni taro rani so mi mai.
Oh
iya. Ya ko sa may bande o tengo biki mani.
Na vale.
Na vale.
No volevo. So still on infrastructure, we'll ask the Ministry of Infrastructure as well as the Fiji Roads Authority, the Wendalide Bridge. This has been a concern for quite some years on the King's Road right here in Korovou. It is a single lane bridge and on the main artery linking this road to the north and west through Natovi. It has been in the books for quite some time. What has been done about this? Can we have someone from the Fiji Roads Authority?
With regards to Wendali the bridge, yes, it has been going on for quite some time. The reason being it being delayed like this is because of the soft ground condition on the Winoga side. You have seen that we have completed on the Nausor side, but due to that soft ground improvement, we have to change the design. So if you see on site, you can see a lot of piles are there. So that is for stabilization of the ground. Once we do the ground treatment, then we can build the bridge on top. It's just because of the soft ground on the Winoga side.
So what solution we can come up with in order to fast this process?
So the solution is to do the soft ground improvement, which we have there. You can see the big piles that are laid there.
How many years has it taken?
It's around, started in 2019, 2020. It's just that we have to change the design because of that soft ground on the Winoga side.
So by when will it be done?
It will be done by next year. It will be completed. So we have just finalized the design now. So once this design comes in, the work will be full on again.
Now, there we have it, the assurance from the Fiji Roads Authority that the Wendalide Bridge timeline is next year. We'll move on to the next question. Ma'am.
Bulabinaka, my name is Vani Senikasanikula, originally from Nambutumbutu, Nandongo, Maduata. I'm residing here at Korovou town at Muraro village. First of all, I want to thank the governor of the day. I see Mr. Kamikamida is here. 2010, the Namau was commissioning the water system. 2025, Muraro village drink clean water. This goes with Weinunga village and also Naitutu and the Betalebu. And I thank Mr. Kamikamida that he was one of the minister who donated at Weinunga for the donation of $1,000 for the village of Weinunga to drink clean water. As I stand here today, I want to thank WEF and I want to ask Water Authority, what was the delay for the village of Naitutu and the Vetalevu, even though they've been layings of pipes and the villagers has been asking when will they drink clean water?
From the Water Authority.
Naka, my name is John Wintega from the Water Authority of Fiji. With regards to the extension to Weinunga, with regards to the extension of water mains to Weinunga, we've covered Nakalwada, Winsole, the Vetelevu, Naitutu, and Weinunga as well. But
can you put the mic up? Yeah.
Sorry. The pipeline works have been completed. That was at a cost of around 7.5 million. The second phase of the works has been awarded recently. with the contractor commencing last month. Kick-off meeting held mid of June last month, and the works will continue on from the Vete level right up to Waindalive, up the Lokia Road junction. We've managed to acquire a pump station site at Venunga Pump Station at Venunga, new reservoir site in the Vete level, and that will cover all the supply, improve the supply towards Naitutu and the Vete level, which is pending at this point in time. They would need a booster pump station and a reservoir to extend the number water supply scheme to that area and beyond towards Waitalive. And we are targeting to also close the gap from there till Nusori.
When will it be done?
This particular phase of works up till Lokia Road is Lokia Road junction is planned for 18 months, starting from June last month. That's the second phase, and we have multiple phases thereafter to move towards Nusori, noting that we've acquired land along the way. We are thankful to all the respective villages who have helped us acquire the land at Mambawode, Longani, Sembi, and also the Betele as well.
Do you have any other questions, ma'am?
Yes, the second question I want to ask the government of the day. Can we have a joint application, the Tikina of Saukasa, for the 1/3 contribution into drinking of water? As I know that most of the village at Saukasa goes down to Ndakwinuku and Londoni. I've spoken to the Ratu at Saukasa in regards to this problem they've been facing. Can we do a joint application as a Tikina of Saukasa?
Naka. Can we have a reply to that, sir? Joint application?
Tikina of Saukasa. Mostly like the government, the villages application. We do the Tikina to get all the people not drinking water to have safely drink water.
What project you referring
Water
to?
project, water meter project.
Thank you for the question. My name is Korovou. I'm from Water Authority of Fiji. In regards for the application, for joint application for Tikina, that can be accommodated, but we'll need the individual customers to be applying on the application form. Then the request, as you had alluded to request, to put your request to government for the contribution. But as far as Water Authority is concerned, we can accommodate the application, the joint application, but each customers have to fill the respective forms, application form.
How long is the process?
The process, the application to survey is 15 days, then another 30 days for installation.
You're watching the Fijian Media Association Town Hall Forum. We are live here from Korovou town, and we at the Tailevu Hotel. And I'm VJ Narayan, and my colleague here, Moses Rangio. Plus, we've got a packed room of people for those who have joined us via live stream, the Bula Vinaka to you. We're still talking about water. Now, this question was sent by a group of people for the government in opposition. There is a standing request for pipe water across the Tikina of Namara, Verata, Tai, and Wungale, and one more from behind this very area, a request for the dredging of Waimbula River, which runs behind Korovou town and nearby settlements, where heavy downpours and blocked drains are causing surface flooding, soil erosion, and the loss of land on the riverbanks. So just a question for the government, those areas, people still asking about water. What is the plan? We know the next budget is about to be implemented. The financial year, do these people have any hopes of getting piped water supply?
Thank you for the question. I believe Namara is one of our target areas, very key to our objectives for the Water Authority of Fiji to cover, noting that we are heavily water cutting to these particular areas. Plans are there. I have just mentioned previously, we are trying to close the gap coming with the water supply coming from Namau. But also on the other end, we are also looking into acquiring land in Bow Landing and overseas sending water supply across to Korovou and then crossing into
When
Namar.
will that happen?
We have applied for lease, but we haven't gotten the full consent. It's Korovou, so we're just waiting on
So
the
there's
acquisition.
land consent issues.
Yes, we'll need to acquire land first before we propose the projects.
So that's for what? Namara, Verata, Tai, and Wungale all, or just Namara?
Namara, then we can cover all the areas in between, noting that it's still well far off from where we intend to finish this particular phase, which is at Lokia Road Junction at Waindalive.
Government side, anything being done to get that land consent?
It sounds easy, eh? But practically it's not. Most of the projects that we do at the end of the day rest on the villages. Eh? A good example was yesterday, 2 days ago, you heard in Lebuka, Mbambai, the community in Vanuatu. The Minister of Lands has confirmed to me, government is committed to issue the lease. But upon his visit, there is a dispute between the settlers. And this is some of the challenges that we face. In the villages or with the Matangali, Tokotoka, it sounds easy, but it's not. And it's only one part of the long process, acquiring the consent and getting the lease.
Now on to the opposition. Do you have any comments on that?
Can I just clarify and maybe give some background to these water issues within the Verata-Namara corridor? In fact, way back in 2014, when Pio Chikundundo was minister responsible for public works and infrastructure, there was a meeting convened to address the water problems, mainly in Vitilevu, and of course, Tailevu was also part of the discussion. The question back then was, because government had already planned to do 2 major water projects in the Central Division. One is Viria. Viria has now been completed, but the ongoing works are still continuing. The other one is Namau. But the question is about this corridor, Namara and Verata, where will they get their water from? Let's bear with the technical people, because it may be easy. I know that the demand is there, but they have to look at technical issues as well. It's an hydrology problem. What's the pressure? Will the pressure be sufficient to go up Lokuya and into Verata? For this project, right now, from Namau, it goes as far as the farming community on the other side of the road. Unless we have the booster and the extra reservoir or whatever to build the pressure. I've heard something about the Vetalevu area. I don't know whether that's going to happen soon or not. Last year's budget, the minister started talking about the continuation of this project from Venunga to connect with Longani, because that is what's coming from Viria to look at Mbau, Raralevu, Namata, all those areas. And the question still remains, where will Verata and Namara get their water from? And the other preparatory work that was done back then, if the pressure, the hydrology does not allow Namara and Verata to be sourced from either Viria or Namau, there is another water source in Sote. And I know Water Authority has already visited the site. There has been some discussions with that land belongs to the community in Naisomo.
I know you have the explanation is the source of the water, but we don't have, so for tonight, we can't get a clear answer regarding when these people will get water? We can agree on that? So they don't even know, you can't give them any guarantee? No timeline. So so
The
many
budget-
factors, very
so-
hard
so-
to deal with, leaders?
Sorry,
Anyone
Vijay,
else?
the budget again last week, the minister stated the same statement that he made last
Okay, there you
year.
go. So I'm asking because water is one of the most contentious issues, the messages that are... Can it be fixed?
Thank you for the question. Basically, from what
Please,
Mr. Fiji-
just keep it short because we've gone round and round
Yep.
in circles about where we're going to get water from. When will people get water in their taps?
For the Namar district, we have two strategies. One is coming from the Namau end, and the other is coming from the Bau landing end, which is from the Viria system. So basically, we are tackling it from two existing systems, extending it towards Namara. And for the Sote water source, we will look into that, but noting that the electrical infrastructure will need to be upgraded and would need to set up new intakes, exactly. That's another additional cost on top of creating a new water source.
But tonight, we cannot get a timeline on when these people will have water, that list of people, the... Yes, go ahead, yeah. Just give the timeline, please.
I was given the plan, we've discussed this
What's
with
the timeline?
Water Authority. It's there already in the 26-27 budget at top.
Right.
We will discuss this with the Water Authority to try and get this done this financial year.
This
At least we
financial
move it right to Berata, even down to Bungale before we reach Namar. If there is plans to divert it from the other sources, that might come
in the next financial year, in the next... Yep.
That has already been announced. Yeah? The budget, the money is already been there.
So before
It's
July
just
next year?
I would say, yes, so we will get the talk rolling and try to get this done.
I see the two former deputy PMs want to say something. You got the mic in your hand?
Vijay, just for the information of our people, moving away from this particular case.
You have to give the timeline.
That he's given the timeline.
It will happen.
He's given the timeline. I just wanted to add one rider to this. There are areas where piped water, and the leader of the opposition talked about it, is going to take a longer time. So in the last budget, and it's continued in this budget, we allocated about $6 million, and we said we're going to build or construct about 1,000 boreholes in Viti Levu, 500 in Vanua Levu, and 200 in the islands, just so that people actually have piped water until the major water systems are developed, and some of them would take time.
Thank you.
We call Korovou town as a Dean's town, but we don't have any ground for our players to play, and I'm asked this government, can you upgrade Teilevu North ground? We've been taking the games down to Ndau Samu, and we've been costing a lot to our rugby and to all our fans. And also we request your support, because we're hosting Ra next week for the Vanua Cup.
Naka. Any response from that, Governor?
Well, I just know there is already a ground, maybe not compliant or yet to be approved by Fiji Sports Council, though that needs to be addressed, because the ground is already, it's just a few, my apology, I cannot respond directly. I'm not the Minister for Sports, but I'll note that. Vinaka.
The ground belongs to Teilevu North High School. If we need to do some permanent work on the ground to upgrade it, let's have the approval of Teilevu North High School. This has been a problem in the past. I was president of Northern Rugby Union for a few years. I know the problem. Let's get it fixed with Teilevu North High School before we bring it to government.
Honorable Ines Ratu. We'll move on to the next question.
My name is Santram. I'm from Nambilo, Tailevu, and residing in Nambilo, in Tailevu. So, my issue is regarding selling fish. My stall fish is very high. They charging the fishes, all fishermen 30 cents per kg. Can it be reduced to 30 cents per bundle? So it will be quite helpful to the fishermen.
That's an interesting question. Can we have someone from the government to answer that?
Well, the cost of the stalls, I guess, at that,
Even I got some fishermen, they give me the evidence. They bring only 9 bundles, but they were charged for $9. nine bundle, but $9.
It's the Ministry of Fisheries,
Yes.
probably the local government. Yeah.
Any representatives from the Ministry of Fisheries or local government here tonight?
And,
Sorry about that.
And the price cannot be reduced just because you ask for it.
That's
Normally it's taken all over Fiji.
I understand, but at least the procedure, I'm an advisory councillor, so when they know that I'm an advisory councillor and selling fish with them, they request me to please help to reduce this price.
Okay.
Do we
Maybe you
have
should,
anyone from the...
you should
Ministry
submit
of
your
Local Government?
request to the other. Korovou.
We have a response from Ms. Pramila.
Yeah, that price is gazetted. So if we change that price, again, you need to take it through the consultation process, and then you have to change the order, and after that, the prices can come into effect.
Can it be done, madam?
But then again, if you look at Korovou, it's a small town and no one is paying any rates. This place needs to be maintained as well, and it's looked after by Nosori Town Council. Nosori Town Council, the ratepayers are paying rates for Nosori, but yet that services are extended as far as Korovou. So some form of money needs to be generated to provide that kind of service. And there are only two sources of that funding. One is from the market, and the other one is from the restroom that is available on a paid services. So all these factors need to be taken into account before the decision can be made.
But is Korovou even declared a town yet?
No, it's not a town. It's a satellite small place which is still a rural area looked
Mr.
after.
Seriratu says it's a city. On to the next question, but someone needs to address, the gentleman has come all the way here with his concerns. Definitely the concerns can be taken on and looked at, noted.
Unfortunately, we don't have any representative from the Ministry of Local Government here, but our news reporters will be tending to you, sir, and getting your stories on that. And on to the next question, sir.
Okay, Bula Binaka to each and everyone. My name is Mr. Sid Kumar Singh, and I'm a District Advisory Councillor for Deepota Supasua and Korovou Town. My request is regarding this Deepota Road. From this roundabout, you must have crossed, each and everyone must have crossed this roundabout, and opposite goes the Deepota Road. And that road till from this roundabout to Korovou Primary needs urgent tasseling. Urgent tasseling, street lights are there, but urgent need for the tasseling. And if you go a further a kilometer ahead, there is one wooden bridge, and it needs to be maintained. I mean, maybe better to have a concrete bridge, because very soon in my area.
How long has this been an issue for, sir?
I'm 65 years old today, and I haven't seen that since that time. I've been seeing when I was born. Since that time, I'm seeing that wooden bridge there, but always been maintained. But at the moment, why I'm raising this concern? Because very soon one big development is going to happen in my area in Suba settlement. One farmer from Australia, he bought a lot of lands there in our area and about to start the vegetable farming. And according to him, he'll be running about these 40 feet long trailers for his business land. And
have you raised these issues with the government, sir?
Well, just few days I discussed with that person who's buying the land. He came to me, he called me from Australia, and he's mentioned that he heard that this meeting being here will be held here, and he mentioned me, please if you can mention about that bridge can be maintained or be made new bridges for his business.
Any response to that from the government?
You're the District Advisory Councillor?
Yes, sir.
You have a direct link to government because of the post that you hold. Eh?
Yeah.
You can go directly to the DO, who has a direct link to the PA, who can go up to the DPO and the Commissioner. So those concerns, you just take it to those people and it should be acted upon. Because if they can't deal with it, they'll go to the right ministry to fix it. Eh? So go through that process and it should be fixed. You have a direct link because of the post you hold.
Thank you, sir. But regarding, according to that farmer, he just called me 2-3 days ahead. Last week we had one meeting, but I didn't have any ideas of that farmer. And
you got any other questions? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll
move on to the
Please.
yes,
Show me
the
Mutawali
clarification.
because
Yeah.
there's something already in pipeline for that road.
Thank you, sir, for your question regarding deep water. Regarding the seal extension, yes, we've already programmed for the seal extension from the Korovou roundabout till the bridge, the first bridge. That covers all the government station, the police station, and the Korovou Primary School. Currently, our sealing team is in Ndausamu to prepare for the sealing of the Ndausamu government station. So after that, they will come and seal that about 300 meters. And also regarding the bridge, yes, we've already procured the box culvert. It's currently stockpiled in our depot in Samambula and Rewa. So once we finalize the design, we will come and upgrade for the
How
wooden
long
bridge.
will that take, sir?
It will be done within after July, before the wet season.
There you have it, sir.
Next question.
Bulavinaka. My name is Mother Lutunaunga, and I'm a small business woman in Korovou. I have quite a number of issues, but I'll just blend them into one. First, the dairy farming sector. I know it's a long business, it's a long ongoing business, but I've been here over the last 4 years. And one thing I've noticed, cattle theft. I know they're not meeting their quota with Rewa Dairy, but we as small business entrepreneurs in Korovou depend on these people to come and buy from us, to come and order for us. Yeah, if you revitalize the dairy industry here in Korovou, the ripple effect it'll generate money for Korovou town. We could survive on our own. Second, the fisheries. We run a small restaurant called Faith Restaurant just by the road, on the main road as you enter Korovou. We depend on fish every day because we offer Itau Cave food. But these fishermen come, in Renrevir, it's quite difficult for them to come and sell their fish because we don't actually have an ice plant here in Korovou. We don't have that. And if we do have one, it'll be of great help and assistance to all the fishermen. This is a place for fish. I'm from Bonuelebu. There's a lot of fish there. But the fish here, and the third one is the agriculture sector. Sorry to say, but government keeps telling our farmers, meratete, keep planting for export. Sama tuanaite, rataroy na walwalwal niya sana, my husband, erokowe wukitikuike. Taroy niya, and then my husband has to go to agro and ask them, sa sangana market. So what happens? Eludanandalo, edana ginger, at the end of the day, the money that they were supposed to get that export, $10 a bundle, sosa, $5, not what they were promised, that the market will be there. There's no consistent market. And lastly, as my friend has alluded to, I'm a great fan of Northern Tailebu. Rugby, we don't have a ground. We depend on school grounds. Mr. Biman, we depend on the school grounds every time we play. Not like Ra. Ra has a ground that has facilities and amenities. We don't. Kebaka, if there's something for you, I mean, it's just a food for thought. Kebaka, you provide a ground, drugs will come in and a minimized, they'll get occupied. I call them my own, but it's just a food for thought.
Do we have anyone from the Ministry of Agriculture who can answer the questions? Any representative from the Ministry of Agriculture? Yes, sir. Can you have the mic here?
There's some interesting questions by Mother there. One is on dairy industry, cattle theft, if we have, even police can answer that after that. Also on no ice plant in Korovou, and no market for the produce that they have, dalo, ginger, and
Yes.
they have to end up selling here locally.
Bula Benaka, Ilai Sakama from the Ministry of Fisheries. Just regarding the ice plant, just good news for us. We have allocated a budget for the preparation of the ice plant for Natobi. I would like to thank the Vanua Nananu that we are currently liaising with the TLTB on the consent for the piece of land they are willing to give for the constructions of the Natobi ice plant.
And when will this be done, sir?
With this fiscal year, we will doing the consent for the land with the TLTB, and we further process for the preparatory and hydroelectric services.
Dairy industry, anyone on that? Yep.
You just, thank you for raising that question. Very briefly, when we came into government from 2023, we recognized that the dairy sector was declining. It was partly because of past policies and the way Rewa Dairy was sold and restructured, so that's history. So what we did was we obviously allocated additional funding directly to the dairy industry. We also made sure that the price was guaranteed. The allocation in the last 3 budgets, including 6 million in this budget, is particularly directed towards dairy development. On top of that, there's about $20 million consistently over the last 3 years for livestock and research and extension. And so there's been some support for the dairy industry in the last 3 years, but there have been issues about land leases, particularly crown leases, and also native land leases, and that I think has created some.
Thank you, Professor Prasad.
But the funding allocation definitely increased in the last 3 years.
We'll go back to the questions being raised, and one was on cattle theft. We've got the Assistant Commissioner of Police. If you can address that, please. And then we'll go to the opposition for a response on this.
Okay, in regards to the cattle theft, yes, we can say yes. It has been a lot of report received about cattle theft. A good number 2 has also been located, but the challenge that we're now facing is information from the members of the community. We are now currently engaging a joint operations with Biosecurity and the Ministry of Agriculture in terms of approaching this increasing report that is coming. But we would again call for an assistance from the community to provide us information. Those are the ones that are currently pending. And if you are uncomfortable in sharing that information with our officers that are looking after you, please reach out on 1681. It's a call center that we can take care, because it's another level of monitoring issues that you are not satisfied with at your level. That's an assurance.
Sir, we'll now give it to the opposition. If you want to comment on that, the cattle theft issues in Tailevu.
No, I think that has been addressed by the Commissioner of Assistant Commissioner of Police, but probably just on the dairy, apart from the issue with the Rewa Dairy itself. The main issue, particularly in Tailevu and other dairy areas, is the issue of brucellosis and tuberculosis that started way back in 2009. As a result, a lot of the stock, dairy stock, had to be culled because of that reason. But the dairy industry is recovering, and perhaps agriculture needs to liaise with the dairy farmers. There is a new dairy breed, the brown Swiss, that is already in another level, that hopefully is going to help the milk production. The issue about marketing of agriculture products, that is one of the reasons why AMA is there. But I think there needs to be a lot of work done prior to the point where agricultural producers are ready for the market. there has to be a lot of discussions ongoing between the farmers and the other stakeholders, because AMA, if you look at AMA regulations, they are mainly responsible for areas where other buyers are not buying from. AMA is more about the remote of the remotest areas. But that aside, they have a responsibility, and AMA is just there in Nosuri. And of course, we've talked about the ground. During the previous government's term, 2 pieces of land have already been purchased here for the development of Teilevu town. One is 20 acres, one is 10 acres. This is just behind the current market, and the other one is 40 acres towards Housing Authority. So that 40 acres hopefully will include a piece of area for the ground that has already been purchased.
We'll now give the mic to the former Deputy Prime Minister, Manoa Kamikamica. You have any response to that, sir?
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly address the issue about market access. And sorry to hear about your situation, but this idea about there being no market is not real. I'll give you an example why. Right now, Joe's farm is constructing a new processing plant which is going to be totally automated just up in Tamowa, Dolisuba. On completion next year, they will want 50 tons of ndalo a week, 200 tons of ndalo a year. So the market is there, a month. So what I strongly encourage is to reach out to the ministries.
So that information needs to filter down to
Yes, yes, correct. And like I've always encouraged people to reach out to the ministries, because we know that the markets exist. For example, FTA cooperative. Last year, they wanted to plant ginger. I hooked them up with Kai Ming in Nabua. 2 years in a row now, they've been exporting ginger through processing ginger for Kai Ming. So the markets are there. We just need to reach out to the right ministries. I'd urge you to reach out to the Ministry of Trade, particularly, and then the connections can be made. We go to New Zealand. New Zealand is saying we are now importing Thailand ndalo. It doesn't taste as good as the Pacific ndalo, but the ndalo is not available. So the notion that markets are not there, the market is there. The other thing that I agree with you with is certainly something that government will have to continue to work on. We've just been in for 4 years, but the need to connect the farmer to the market. And there's a lot of work still needed to be done between agriculture and the Ministry of Trade so that we can coordinate better. But I can assure you that's already in place. We're already seeing some positive developments. But please reach out, even though I'm not in the ministry, just reach out.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much,
Thank
Mr.
you. Thank you so much, gentlemen.
I think Ministry of Agriculture, and as Mr. Kamikamica said, Ministry of Trade, I need to really get this information out so that people know that this is what's coming up. Now, this is a question from the Turangani Koro from Kaleli Ndaku Tailevu, question to Professor Prasad regarding his visit with World Bank officials, and he promised that they will fund the extension of electricity grid from Ndaku Tailevu to Kaleli. We provided them with a warm welcome, even a big bundle of crabs. Asking the question on behalf of the Turangani Koro from Kaleli Ndaku Tailevu. Sent in through the group.
I'm not sure about the bundle of crab who took it. But look, that's a valid question. And EFL there is a World Bank project. In fact, they have announced a total of about $2 billion project for the next 10 years. And this includes renewable energy, plus extension of grid, which is a major issue throughout the country in many parts of Fiji.
No, he's talking about Kaleli. When will they
Kaleli, I'm not sure whether I promised Kaleli specifically.
Kaleli.
Yeah, I don't think the promise is actually in relation to that particular village. I can't recall, but as I said, the World Bank is involved with EFL in discussions about a major project which includes grid extension, and there is allocation every year within the Ministry of Energy which also supports grid extension.
Anyone from Ministry of Energy or okay.
Something for Kaleli there. Thank you, sir. In regards to the electrification, the grid extension project for Kaleli, it doesn't only cover Kaleli, it goes right up to Kamba. So at the moment, EFL is currently flooded with projects. We gave them 111 projects at a cost of 18 million. So they gave us the assurance that these 111 projects will be completed this year. So we are hopeful that once it's completed, then the new grid extension projects that's currently in line will be funded, which this grid extension project for Cuba Kamba is also a part of. The cost is around 850,000 for this grid extension project, Naka.
Naka. We've got some people in line. Questions? On to the next question.
My name is Penny Saumi, originally from Savu. I serve as a church minister, Methodist Church minister here at the Waimara Circuit. My concern today is in regards to the health services here at the Teleu subdivision. It has been months now, to my understanding about 4 to 5 months, that the Korovou hospital has been without an X-ray technician. And it is the community that are facing the brunt of no technician here. And as we all know, X-ray is something, it's a department that is consulted every day. It's a daily services for X-rays. And when people come up to Korovou Hospital for X-rays, they are advised by the staff to go down to Nosori in order to access to that services. And pregnant mothers, when they come for scanning, they are also directed down to Nosori Health Center for that service. And the question that I would like to pose today to the government or the ministry concerned, how long will it take the ministry of the government to plot an X-ray technician here at Korovou Hospital? You know, people, when they go down to Nosori Health Center, they foot their expenses of going down. People come as far as Wainimbuka, as far as Ndausamu. You know, they pay for their fares to come to Korovou Hospital. And when they reach the hospital, they are again directed to go down to Nosori. That is an extra cost for them. The question that I would like to ask, when will they have an X-ray technician here in order to solve the problems that the community are currently facing?
This issue was also raised when we had our town hall forum in Levuka, and it has been an issue that has been ongoing for years now. Do we have anyone from the Ministry of Health? The Assistant Minister, we have Mr. Penyoni Ravunawa here with us who can address that issue and just give a bit of assurance to our gentleman.
Just to add on to that, excuse me, the machine and everything is workable in the X-ray here. But the only problem is the human resource. There's no X-ray technician to run the machine.
Thank you. Thank you for the question. Penyon Rabunao menakaile toka teleu dumbula. That is true. The human resource for radiology has been a challenge since this coalition government has come into place. As you know, the TELS scholarship and the TOPA scholarship for all university graduates, they can easily leave the country. And when this coalition government came in, there is a a bond system that is now put in place. And for radiology technician, laboratory technician, their training at the Fijian National University is Australian and New Zealand accredited training. Meaning, when they finish their training today, they can go work in Australia tomorrow. But now with the bond system in place, in the 4 years of their training, they will have to serve Fiji for at least 6 years before they can leave. Or if they want to leave tomorrow, they can pay the full amount of the bond and go, which like 99% of the Fijians will not be able to do that. So with that has been a challenge. So in the last 2 years, the bond system has been introduced by this government, and now we are putting up the buffer system with our human resource throughout the Ministry of Health. We are able to retain senior officers to serve our country, to give back to our people. And for the X-ray infrastructure, there's a new floor-mounted X-ray machine, which is also supported by AI. Work in progress. It needs a 3-phase power supply. So work in progress for the improvement of the space and the installation. The machine is already here in Suva, and it's just waiting for that infrastructure work, upgrade of electricity. We will have that machine. But if you will get the staff...
Minister, his question is, when will they get an X-ray technician?
Right now, I cannot say you will get one, because as you heard in Levuka, the same issue all over Fiji. The 21 graduates that graduated last December are still undergoing internship program, which will be completed in the middle of this year. So I cannot tell you when. It is a disaster, I would say, for the ministry, but with a buffer system with the scholarship, I believe in next year we will be able to have sufficient staff.
So we hit a crisis point where many places in Fiji do not have X-ray technicians, but we have the equipment.
That's right, sir. And at times we get officer from Suva to come and assist in our subdivisional hospital.
Yes, that used to be the case before, sir.
I know you have
where
a
people
comment.
come down for a living, but now it's the public who are footing the expenses, extra expenses for going down to Nosori, just for that service. X-ray and scan for our pregnant mothers.
I see the hands going up very quickly because health is a big issue. These people are going all the way to Nosori to get these services. The opposition wants to say something. Of course, they were in government before this. And then you wanted to say something as the recent former Minister for Finance.
I think we tend to forget that during this period, we also have number of private hospitals. Right. So what they have been doing is they've been taking all these staff away from the public services because they pay better. So people are not migrating, but they are just shifting into private practices. So that's what I wanted to say.
We have someone else in line. The next question.
Joseph Mundu, holder of Group 2 driving license. I wanted to get my PSV and also applied for taxi permit through Ndakwanga investment. One of the conditions is to have a police clearance. I had a case 28 years ago, and it's still, when the police clearance came out, it was still there. I was asked by LTA to bring 3 character reference, 3. So I brought 3, it's here with me. I went to LTA office Korovou. I came right from Dausamu. The officer said, come back tomorrow. I went back to Dausamu. Then I came back the next morning. I came back the next morning, same thing. Go back, come back another day. So I came back. When I came back the other day, I showed the officer here at LTA Korovou. I was told, oh, it's going to be a long process. Very long process if you apply it here in Korovou, LTA. You have to take it to Valeu. So he told me about a name, a girl was there in Valeu, so I went there. I went to Valeu, and I was told you have to do an appointment. So I came back. lucky, I heard a week later, there was a bill passed in Parliament about this kind of situation. I thank the Attorney General for that bill, but my question today, I already paid for 2 police clearance, one for PSV and one for taxi permit. So the question to the Honorable Attorney General, I thank him for that.
Can you get your question, sir, please?
That the cases that 10 years back has been suspended or something like that. So what I would like to ask today, I would like to have my PSV. The process, I would like to apply for PSV, and the process, I've been going to LTA and it needs to be improved. Thank you. All I'm asking is if the Attorney General can help me with this. Thank you.
Yes, it's already been passed in Parliament. We have had a meeting last week. We hope come August, the regulation to be endorsed by Cabinet. After it's endorsed by Cabinet, then it commences, and then there are 2 categories that are disqualified. Those with sexual offenses, the most serious offenses. But for the less than 30 months, you will be covered by that act. Pulo ko si ten ke warong recho tunga. Ka kuota liso mo indo talena. Indo na ba madala indo dala ti ko ni sa fil ningeli tasang. Sa fil nga kembali bali sa senga. Ando na kame duban de otati so na bali silis. Sa fil nga kembali ti ko nga ko na bulit ti ko nga me da nga na lawbong ko ngela ko mai.
So August. We have
my question is, will I have to again pay for my police clearance? That's the question.
We will have the Honorable...
you will fill in the form at the office. It will be approved by the Permanent Secretary, and that will update the record. Obviously, yes. You will pay, and then it comes out as clean. Then you get your license.
So I have to pay twice.
Until the law comes into effect, right?
No, as it is, I just want to help this gentleman. We got the LTA people here, we can sort out this case while we wait for the clearance from the Attorney General. But there is something there in the system that we can try and expedite to help him.
Can we have the next question, please?
Vinaka, just want to introduce myself this afternoon. My name is Senimili St. John from Butuna village, the island of Nairai. And I'm married at the Venunga village, Namalata Tailiu. I'm 46 years in that village, and I have 5 children and 17 grandchildren at the moment. I'm really old in this tikina of Namalata. I'm here this afternoon just for my small business. I started my small business in 2012. Through my own struggle from the farm, and just helped my husband through, he's an ex-serviceman now. Ratumeli Nitawanga from Venunga in the woods of Ndaviko. Firstly, I want to thank the Water Authority, the lady that mentioned already about the water.
Can we get to the question, ma'am, please?
And my question is, because small business, I was running business, then this, the SPBDA, South Pacific Development Banking, came through our community to help to avoid poverty. And the main question is, we went through 21 ladies in the village of Venunga. Now consists of 35 today. We are happy that, please, I can speak in Fijian English too, eh? Rumay na SPBD na luman nung kuka umay atura kina na biluta kina runong dulutin karu umay senta chief kina. Awang karaba kina rosa
Can we have your question, please, madam?
The question is because of this. What's this here? Can I have it? Thank you. Yeah. Today my canteen is closed. If pass Venunga, now walk away sa lang the bus stop to my canteen. Send Kulubo spot. Au kere na nungu taro na kabini kuwa ni kortu kela mena faya. Sa utungo irona bula nungu so mena basa bukali menandolo bana fayengo. Ira keda na didi bakim bisinisi nerto duru mena SPBD me voluti na bulan rabun rabua. Awata we me bona limanan rawa na linga ngani titi o buket na
Kerana no buni taro kere-kere.
na taro we me imbita na kabingo ike me balata ti goni ke mamina tu na koro sa to bata na bisnis lelebu sa zurbana ilu sera rona semilesin o ngola nga mai mo semilesin vina dio ngo sange me sasom sa tuni bio munge bona paya la ko bana OHS labor then come back to the health. Today I have to pay $397. They closed my shop to wait for my certificate from the fire and put this tomorrow, either on Monday. That's the first question.
Can we have that question answered
And
by...
secondly, and please,
Can we have that first question answered by the Honorable...
Vinaka.
Monoka Kamida?
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll take the details of the issue. Just to look at, I'm quite surprised with the time it's taken to go around with the approvals. There is a new system that's been introduced that's supposed to fast track the approvals, but it seems like it's not working properly. Let me get your details and we'll try and sort you out.
Next question.
We have to pay. Yeah? Oh,
yeah, like I said, me torge vital no me tormenta matata na muniku kawai. Mingeli me lori talamanda babinak. Dinak.
Your next question, madam. Oh.
Okay.
Your next question, madam.
Vinak, dambe chigo sarungo chigo na ba malalang wani ko sa milisini apa na non kanin riba. Ayo na lubiengu ni chigo na puni lao baka rusuko chigo me na bulongo na katin ka bien singa. What are the requirements to be paid? Kaya baka ako me na katalon lisini.
Sentence must be less than 30 months.
Muso maybe the virtual team meron ni renew na lisini. Chigo yung lamang ko.
Gorin do tani moso mo manda mo sabsaba ang garin lang na lisini.
Oh, binaka.
Nabalewo. We'll move on to the next question. Can you just please introduce yourself?
Nimbula saka na dango makelesinai mai na sara na korga iliungo matatulai liu. Nongutaro ayaw tete chiko oti limited space in the village, so I asked the LTB to list namaralewu land in Riti. Nanguna limbutikin nangele Waritakibi on access road or tone TLTB to Wartakabi on access road. Oji usa ngono sa kote ni kina na misini mele takadaka ngai tarobia na marama ko chikoi lisitu bacini ngoni sala yo tu sarani lama. Arto tarobia tu konorto ni asing me access road. There is no access road. I have to look for my own access road. So I called the landowner. Ngai singi bebu kaya o landowner. Au mani pakatatar tel maybe manager I TLTB tukunorto tulimpas nusuri. Ada nusuri tukunabiao. Perto tukunabiao nam TLTB nusuri muso me ronan rondola keba kau via tako soba na land di kon marame amula ko na nunggu tite. Also mabakaruan na ronan dola mo tako soba $200 a month in order for me to cross like 100 meters only. Yan na nunggu tite tu sarani lagi. So mabakaruan sa may singron soma. Au complain chico o bola au kila ni asolia mo minister Mr. Ndito kan tanong na na viber number. Au aslebi ko andana message o ko ngesileme na email ni Mr. Vasu o email bi Mr. Vasu. No nothing till now. Na nungutaro e na ngau na dava e na ngai bakamata ki wikito na list chiki dake ni ibi na ni to access road in black and white.
One question. You have a registered list?
Yes, I have the title.
You have a survey?
Yes, kita sambutuka.
The survey plan should provide for an easement for you to
It
access.
says access road, but when we come there,
Okay. If there is access road, it must be complied with. I think one of the issues is that when it is a civil matter, did you report this to the police? The TLT is supposed to assist you in dealing with them. You can see me after this, eh?
Okay.
Yeah. Registered, you have an access. If an access, that should be complied with.
So you'll
And
address,
interference with their
address it with her?
obstructions, that's
Because
a
her plan
principle.
has, on paper, she's got the access.
Yes.
Okay,
So
you
when you
look
have a
into that.
registered lease, there must be a survey, eh? Unless the land is not
Okay.
yet been surveyed, then there is a problem.
Just wait around and then the minister will address that. On to the next question, please.
Yombolo Benaka, thank you very much, Fiji Media Association. Mana Sanduanga, Daginuku Village, South Castello. 3 questions I brought this afternoon. First, 2021, our seawall, funded by Basic Industry, implemented by Ministry of Waterways. Seawall ay halfway tunga, sa aming madalatu. So we followed up in the budget when we did the budget in the budget submission. We request, but still nothing has come up to date in our seawall. If you come to the village, half through the village, and Buluvinakatu, the other half, Ratubangai Nabatu. This is a hybrid seawall. Tutungai Nabatu, Lakama na Wua, the Romba Meloma. Nito Lomanicor, Lakatukin and Keliwai. When the launchment of the project, tukuna Keliwai Kediana, Dakababinaka, Dakatalanga can seawall, what I can wa. We are no nothing has been done. Karuani Kaukutukuma is the minibus fare. Or to na minibus ng Korovou, Northland Transport Association, or to regulate takirto tunga or to fare. $3 to Korovou to the Quinuku. To sa nga na sa niway, or to salan dita kinaon ng $1. Au to kuna virto na koro, au chukina koro, chukisuba. Au to kuna virto na koro, sember hindi tumbo na so ni wanto. Yung nakara to kuna chukana ng revenue minibus, sapay stak or to na Northland Committee, to na committee ni minibus. So now it's sitting at $6. Korovou to the Quinuku village. Katulungan ng Kutaro, village by law. What's the government plan to for maintaining order in the village? Basta ba koro, tampo ng unulom ni koro. Irabi ang uno, rakota nga naman rakati ni biyar, lako ng rabalra, ontak ng music box. Lako ay naturang ni koro, sa asing doy warro. Sa tu na constitutional right. Kenaliw.
Naka, so we'll answer your question accordingly. So do we have anyone from the...
There's contentious issues, so if you can just repeat just briefly
so
on what he's raising.
The first question was on the seawall. Seawall
Halfway
project?
seawall.
Yeah, halfway seawall. Second one is the minibus fare issues and the village bylaws. So do we have relevant representatives, relevant authorities representatives who can answer the questions? First issue is the seawall halfway done.
I'll start with the bylaws. The bylaws are currently with the Ministry of Itoke. That has to go through to be approved by the Itoke Affairs Board. Then probably GCC before it comes to the Solicitor General's office. You also will realize that the constitutional process will conclude next week. That issue is also relevant there. So some of the concerns, at least from the previous government, why bylaws was not mandated because it violates the 2013 code. I have a different view because some places in the West, isin may warak total in the do tuman nga ya kambimbi do ka kunin bitikin do ka kabidong dong kenaya buni ba ulewa may sambeto may bisis ay roko bitiko. So isang ni taro ba indo to koro man buli law. Ya okla na warak imbek me abo utina ya buni ba ulewa sang geran tuwa to de takmen tambani to ke na bylaws na baliw.
Bylaws done, the other issues.
Can we have anyone who can address the minibus fare issues?
Buluvinaka, my name is Malaya from Nambuna in Coral Island. For the increase in minibus fares, we have received multiple complaints relating to the issues, and we have addressed the same because we are not regulating the fares for transport. It has been regulated by FCCC. So for now, for any increase in minibus fares, it's not been approved because it has to go through consultation processes and has to be tabled in Parliament to be gazetted for any increase in minibus fares.
But they are bringing in the issue that it has already increased. What has the LTA done about it?
I think the issue is this is the same issue in Levuka.
Yes, sir.
Meter, not use. Same here. The increase, it's the issue of enforcement. So LTA, you're supposed to report your issue to the police and to the LTA for that to be corrected.
That's it.
Kenda na bita lo tatunga na siya, libong ko sa debir tatunga na mo na libo-libo. Okay, tapang tayo ton tamban ni matinitu.
It all comes down to the monitoring process as well.
Yes, sir.
How are we doing that?
For few cases that we have received, we have done enforcement actions because we haven't received any gazetted fare increase in minibus fares. So it hasn't been taken care of for all complaints that we have received relating to increase in minibus fares. Thank you.
See what we will do now, LTA. You need to come down. This is an enforcement issue. It's an enforcement issue. So we'll ask them to come and see this at the Minibus Association, the one in Korovou, tomorrow. If that can happen tomorrow, Maybe
Yes.
Yeah.
Maybe
that
we
can be
just
easily looked into. It's just an enforcement issue that has not
opposition to respond to our village
Any
bylaws.
response from the opposition in terms of the village bylaws, though? Do you have any response to it? No? Thank you. And to the seawall issue that they have been raising, 2021, it was still the year when the previous government was in power. What do you have to say about that?
I just want to know who was the ministry responsible. Is it Ministry of Rural Development or is it Ministry of Waterways?
Waterways and Agriculture.
Waterways and Agriculture.
Yes.
Was there any reason given why it was not completed?
Because the project was funded by Basic Industry. If I'm correct, Basic Industry is extracting gravel from the river, Waivo River that comes, the river mouth is beside my village. So this Basic Industry was not renewed there, yes. So the landowners did not give, I don't know what's the, I'm not the landowner, Matangal is the landowner. So from there, that's where the project stopped.
The only advice that I can give is this. Because a lot of times we do arrangements outside government. That is why I asked the question, who was the ministry responsible? Because there are times when we do arrangements outside government, only when we have problems, then we bring it to the attention of government. Kem dono turan koro, kem dono matin tikina, vinang rabi wator de ketaki. Iyo, dana numatigo nirnayalo irnalako may mermay bebuke, na matin tu na tiko nga kinalingan ni bengarabi. Dan do tobole amanda siamatiko. Wati ke ira na lingan ni bengarabi ko rito. Berarti ni sana ngon leado may kinalanga. O kenda nga na tintaligya. But I only perhaps recommend to government, let's revisit this, and if we can do something in order to save that village. Somebody's
gone up there.
My name is Mariam Banimarama from the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. Turangaratu, I'll just ask you a question. In 2021, were you all part of the consultations and when the ministry was coming in with waterways and basic industries?
Yes.
Yes.
Dr. Reddy, if you go through Fiji Times,
okay, next, my next question. Au nabia okirenga me ona tokona valila ina kakwa sa waseo Mr. Seruratu. Mbele te tingana nondondo ndua batna leo ni benua. Na lenga asa mai rumbe kina na benga rabni matin tu mbele te walenga ni singni ndua batna benua sa chiko na naki merto sa soliana laiseni be Gold Rock. Keto sa tabuti kana linga ni benga rabi mendambe na benua me walia keto singra ni lester mana matin tu me keto mai baka yo bidei mendambe bidei na laiseni.
O de soliana laiseni.
Okay mundo. But what? Ratu au baca mendengar nunggu iya. Melihat kita sa tata rovi mai na EIA kita sanreta ni kita sakila sa tiko na mavoi na benua. Ngome na walia na benua. Kita singarani laku tele mena matin tu koi manda sa linga tiko ni sule na bibakan donui. Mengke laku tele mai na linga mengke mai walia na lenga. Sabi donga tiko kia kita rani kau tal kina bakalau kita na linga ni bengarabi so kita na tambalan do sole na bibando nui au na kere amento na ndambe talem beleta senga walenga ni siwol abako tio basic iko na bando don tekia na valin kuro wakaki na hall awala koyani na kena dhaka kedingo. Ken live.
Thank you. Just
a short
Mrs.
response.
Painimarama, just if you can just briefly explain it in English for other
Sorry. Yes, for all of our viewers, just a point that we'd like to make from the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change in the EIA process. It's very, very critical that our landowners, our resource owners, continue talking, continue sitting on the same agreement when initial approvals or consultations have been made. Because the moment we deviate, the moment there's division, this is what happens. Government comes in again to play that mediator role when already it's playing a regulator role. And Honorable AG is here to be able to defend us because this becomes a regulatory process and a challenge for us, regulators to be able to withdraw approvals, but at the same time, it's the same hand that comes in to help our people. So, and with that, I will ask, we'll have another sit down with Waterways. We'll have to have another sit down with the company, Basic Industries, and likewise MRD, who's the licensing authority for the operations up in Antawasamu.
Next question, please.
I hope that answers your question, sir. Can we have the next
If I
question?
can ask the Ministry of Environment, when they come for consultation, don't just go to the land owning unit, go to the entire community. The Yabusa has 5, 6 Matangalis. The consultation is just done with the land owning unit. And this different comes from the land owning unit, affects the whole.
Next question, thank you very much.
Bula benasakna turanga minister. Evango Pascalo ematata. Kerwoni Londoni mai sokasteli. Ana postinga baituki. Ndo sa chunga na kerkere turanga na minister turanga na ita. Ro epeli tuisau. Ukilani okwa sikona tambana ni bibatoro kita kini ngoni sala. Watekina libo. With a man embarking or I was sangat ko na libo pena no gitu ko sa lakani bertona atay manda na libo in na silva tao sa sulman ano ko ni libo ko nang ona se bilito kino torana wekango side ko yum na matin tuni bay kilano e undo tala nando lombo sud yang dona ngauna ya kimami soto menusur mani main tola boko na ono stoni fama semai nusur mani kimami bitan lokina au mani warta kabu ani libo sini ado tiba nanu gitu yang andre bitu kuna libo amani ba mureke dana kiana ngoni sala sa ado sarani sa sulman kukur mana na silva house yo meda bucing amengo ni ndo lakani kya artu ndo tukun chiku morto mo warra kana budget isabi da manemba kina nunggu
lako kere sa kanu muni taro kere to se weekend tanangona
ya kere nga kero ni buke na libo me ado na lo mani nunggu itu na keni karuanga mbala tanangon sala baka sabar tagot ini ndo lombo sudu ya sa andre sara na kena kauna sudu bana nunggu itu me kau main bateni ngun salah saruida. Watan lagi na ngone buli. Primary school, secondary school. Watan lagi na anak kau na iboli. Na marketi na buguni tei sa rabe ba ulum bale talanga na ndraba ni tolid.
Na boleh
kera ni buke na ngoni salah. Watake na libo.
Rani keranga, can I have relevant authorities? Yes. Relevant authorities, the Fiji Roads Authority and also the EFL. Can we answer that question?
Naka sa vingkom sa kecil na nomundo batutu nagkikira nga may kito nagalisiko pamantangan nomundo konsala meron ni scope ta kita katora kena assessment may nagailore na kena tosilyo nakabaliw.
Kim to natamban ni libo-liba?
Ibinaka dongan aba tataro wasiru so ko ni bingara bini bi baga libo taki. Na matay na kena na house wiring Kini karuan na grid extension. O debi rau enro ngandrebo.
Ko melak sarang nandur.
Tandur lebu. Ya batako sabari tako tia. Engara bisa kacuna bi wali bili bitai ko sa sumi uchungo sa mekena e uchuchini amba kina amba ngo. Na bingo no todo kitondu kere chukuna ken me bakai labo te kina program go. Ora chukuni so le kene labo mbalete ni se tao chukubandanga kuera na se daka rau chuku. Batako sabari tako tia. Andonan rau chini kando todo kona projects. Kwa warin rau nida kalau mangani doan embaki. Saka pumadal te kino IFL. Na lo meni bane embaki na gai bagada bari kina daga daga libungo. Don rau chini kando na projects o kwa warin daga daga lilai. Kwa ngona na wana num rau kerkere. Ni na o chini donan rau chini kando na projects ngo. E na gai kito bagai labo takatale na kerkere me bikim rau.
So there we have it, ladies and gentlemen. The project is in line, 111 projects that are still yet to be tended to, and we have got the assurance from the representatives of the EFL that is with us tonight that it will be tended to after we complete with these 111 projects. Can we have the next question?
Next question.
Naka, na zango Kamil Rabula. Dorwo ni martudau, turun korre martudau. Cikino na malak. Rosa tsunga na nungu watatar ngol sa tsume na kabina ni kwa. Matai na nungu tutu waturun kor. Kena karua nungu tutu watu kengele. Dore sa tsuga ndona cikindo kot sa tsumingo. Ndonga nungu taro. Kel sa tsungo na nito nger tsuk sa tsunga ngon bacino wengo ke katungol sumungo ndon taman nger le kel tirango. Nandon nu tabe chuki virtu na tambanda ni tete sa sensi no gonda na permanent secretary sa chungo orto winjin jinanti wele chuki moy no tokin gelo wele chumi gon ku kor simdana kerker ngolen biaw e bokani kin tokin gel wele tu sa tak chungo na kilkil kerker ni no gasan me turin kor kira chuki na nger dona lur me ngolen bikito na kor me rambulu na ngun sal chungo war dona kay ngay chuki yorto da kablo chengo na nungu tarro ba to gen gel nando dunu da betu burto merto mitanga na geren go ni chunga men go loman kor ken le nungu tarro sanga
na bendin din na tio de tambani tite ke de
tambani tite chingo orto na land and mineral resources what orto na agriculture and waterways sa chingo na
mangelo re mandana donu chigo na nombo watutu tandon metara na to ken gele mongo chimna go ngelo re tikini pepa chingori kuna valeu
karosangan nungu tarro na nungu itu tu waturan kor martu usandu mi tuki chuki bertunggo na tamban ngun sala tsungango ortu tsungango na depo ke baka tunggai watanggo na kor nombong ni ko turi na tungun sal na tabalante num dolur na va tsuni tungun sal rekila tsungo nan rebe son rebe gitu menga ingo na kor sarambis batana vani tungun sal singo chilango bidena singa na kenang gari tsuna ngun sal gari ani ko nan duka ngani gari tsugani ambulu kina singo kera chuki virtu ngol men katak bi la kel na sal sali we sal lur mir mama da ko na potul ni tonga bongo no dem basi katana lenga no ko ker sa tsunga virtu tambani tak ngun sal tsunga korbu na ger na katabila rintu da kam ngaba pindak ngun sal ngoy motodo ken lip.
Can we have an assurance for that from the FRA?
Na valeu sa dingo misar tsuguna no mundo ker kito na gelere den na kena banger wata kena improve tekdal nga so na no mundo dread na valeu.
Nutangan neo so yang bagawal sa ngabul kawalu. Neo sa positigo na matan libong ko neo lasutiko. Eh unan ko koro matuwa. Warong dia. Ken lebu.
Napa lebu torang ratu au do pataki kemuni reda. We will look into that. FRA toli reda kan kono singa madalomai. Okay? On satu chikor miskopta ke mele lora ye.
So
Santun.
Yes, the assurance has been made by the Assistant Minister that this issue will be looked into. We also have had the gentleman who just stood up and has mentioned that this issue had been an ongoing issue for years, and the issue is on roads. They have been having these road issues for years. They've been asking relevant authorities, including FRA, but nothing has been done with it. So we are glad that we have the assurance tonight that it will be looked into, and hopefully it will be soon so that we can address this issue. We'll move on to the next question. Boleh benaka, ma'am?
Isambule benaka, wasiti tambu takau, aku korongana sautoka, vidangana ruam bekanga, ona tiko na kabingo, dongana kau kota tiki mai, membeletira na marama, keira na paling kai tuna tiki ni angonra, era tori labu tiko ni social welfare, ana tarsanga, kebakaro ni barta ki ngai Korovou na rural banking. Meron ni bibu ke beira na paling kai tuna tiki ni angonra, ira na ni memingkasi, ke ira na marama, karang oleh saroti ko mai na bikoro, mera yado sarai nausori, eba kanimbange tiku ngai nausori, na kiana karuasak nga, ona biang usunda sakati nga na marama, era ndauda kambisinisi, osambasi kapakalima, ena kel ni wangkau na tobi, ebi barara mataki, raba kasabsabata katiku na banua, api ba kambulan-bulan taki berna tambangane, kain tuan kau osatabatiko, sengani raba kaliwa-liwa tu, ena non raba liwa taki. Kaya sak nga na bekam baletina tobi, kian katul sak nga, yau Telebu Rugby Executive Committee, kau tiko telanga yau ngani ni Northland, rua sakatiko na nito timi ni rakabi, na Telebu Rugby Union, kena Northland Rugby Union. Pabili nakabe hon mano kamidan dina ni kay Telebu, rando tuta kabakalebu, nasasanga ni tambangane ni asana Telebu. Ana bosa talenga na singani kuwa, keto singani recognize tagitiko, na National Youth Council of Fiji, tiko kina na ruana body, Youth Assemblies of Fiji, patikena uniform group. Ira kena na tambangane ngo, kebakara singani register, ira singani recognize taki, mana Ministry of Youth. Da tukuna tiko ninda bia baluta na basulawa, ninda tukuna tiko ninda bia baluta na drugs. Ewan ko endo solimpula na ngole wabo kina be kor, meta kasona tuba be na ni mamitambangani. Rua sakanga na nungu bakatutu, kero nintambe sakanga na gym, na usori taoni, se o Korovou town, me bukeir na ni mamitambangani, keir na ni mamindongito, Telebu. Me bebu ke vera, roni rapa kasa kita langa kina na itambangani, se o ir na ni mamindongito. Na be club ratungo Telebu. Sibe na 5 bulan na club, nindongito. Ya senga tu na gym, ki mami di USB sarma isuba, ir na ni mamitambangani, rambiumbiu Telebu. Rasoma nambasi, na lako ya ni lako mai, mera letereni na gym. Sinindo na gym. Ke bakairo ni ruanga na gym, me bakarota ki ver na ni mamitambangani ndongito. Na rara etiko be kima minangele, kima mironi taka. Eu kerenga ke bakaroni bebu ke na gym. Nakasaka.
So the lady has raised 3 questions.
Just address the issue of the gym. According to the Ministry of Youth and Sports, if you can provide a shelter, they'll provide that. Simple as that. But you must be registered. These issues should have been known to every village, every youth group in Fiji. But first register, have a building, they will come and provide. That's what I can say for the gym. But for the Ministry for the youths to be registered, there are criteria. And doon na lang lebu tungo, lebu na song di tamang ni bitir sa cum na ni siya may kya. Kung ni na biyambula, muni na siya may ni kya, balit ko na karton do baruta kumay. O sa kir-kir ko ni turang ni koro matin ni na muni taka-taka ki muni na matin tu sa wararota na biyang karabi. Kaya sa raw nindo na gym, medyo ko may lebu ka, ada bisin raw kinay Korovou, o taro nga. Balata daw ni Ramuri na kena salah.
Navolebu, Honorable Attorney General. We'll move on to the next question that the 2 questions that she raised. The first one was rural banking to help the disabilities, social welfare. Can we have an answer to that? A response from a representative?
Boleh nak permo Director Social Welfare. At the moment, we are currently working with the banks in Nosori to assist our clients, not in the banks, but in the office. But we'll also ask them to extend that service and maybe come once in a month to Korovou to serve the people.
Can we have an office here in Korovou?
For the banks?
Yes.
We'll have to ask the banks to do that.
Because this is in terms of the disability and those who cannot go the longer distance.
Yes, we can make arrangement for them to come and provide services once in a month, because they have started in Nosori. They are based in our office to serve our clients there. So we'll continue that discussion with them. Maybe next month we can start with.
And just
with services.
finally, on this electrification of Natovi.
Yeah, right, Kimuni. Now, what's going to do is going to teach somebody to remember even a camera from Dudina. There are Nikito Clatal and Tava Kitur Bitan, but I have a Madaloch or Tonaji, na greed as an Kiturima and another Kitur in the Madalomai.
We have a last question there. Stanley?
Some summing up to be finalized. This is an online question that's come in. It is, I think, to everyone in government and in opposition. The Korovou to Tavo corridor was declared a tax-free zone in the 2014 budget. Why hasn't local or overseas businesses and investors taken advantage of this so far? There's no shortage of farmland, but it seems the tax-free zone that hasn't been used.
Can we have the government responding to that first before we give it to the opposition?
Well, 2014, I was a magistrate in Nandi. I'm not sure whether maybe the former Minister of Finance can assist why the project has not kicked off.
Yeah, tax-free zone doesn't mean that there will be a project. Tax-free environment is provided for potential investors. There are many other support services through Ministry of Commerce and Development. The Fiji Investment Fiji provides those services, but so it's nothing to do with government. Government has provided a tax-free zone, and if investors come and invest, and we just heard that there is a overseas investor trying to do commercial farming, and as former DPM Kamkamida will tell you, he's done a lot of work in bringing investors into commercial agriculture. And I think that's why probably it was declared a tax-free zone right from Korovou to this huge area. And hopefully there will be new investors taking the advantage of that tax-free zone.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, just to quickly address the question, it's a good question. Generally, as correctly mentioned by the Honourable Minister, just because there's a tax-free zone doesn't necessarily automatically mean that investment counts, but it is a carrot. In Lambasa, as an example, when Damodar city was built, all of a sudden, there was basically a deluge of businesses wanting to set up tax-free in the Lambasa, moving down towards Savu, towards Nambuwalu. So there has to be a catalyst to create the momentum. In this area, we all know that it's a very fine arable area. You've got potential for cocoa in this area. You've got potential for bamboo in this area. And there are investors already talking about setting up. Still early stages. But if one of them, there's also someone, I understand there's a Chinese man planting kura somewhere here, and he's going to do value addition. When those start turning into manufacturing opportunities, that's when you'll see the momentum starting to build. So there are some building blocks in place, but like most things, you have to develop the opportunities. At the moment, I just finished a conversation this week about someone wanting to come and do bamboo in Fiji. The Ministry of Fisheries and Forests is looking at bamboo as an alternate timber for construction of housing. So it's an Indian company, very early stages, but they're looking at quite a bit of land. So these are the types of opportunities that are starting to emerge, and it's the job of the government and the ministry to try and bring the investors, make them comfortable, come to Fiji and do some of these things that can become the momentum. But I am 100% sure over the next 5 to 10 years, you'll see a lot more economic activity on this side of Fiji. Right now, there's a group called Owner Coffee. They are doing coffee picking wild coffee in Raki area. Last year, they bought 4.5 kilos of seedlings, just wild coffee, buying from the villages. They want to set up permanently in Fiji. They're based out of Australia. They're going to do coffee plantations around Ra area, maybe come down towards Tailevu North, and possibly look at Taviuni and Vanole particularly, where there's a lot of coffee being grown. So these are some of the opportunities that are there. It's a good question about tax-free zones. They do create an interest, but it's just about connecting the interest to the investor. But I can tell you, from where we're sitting as government, we can see a lot of potential opportunities come. We don't want to overpromise until they hit the ground. But the live on a cabin agasat kitu sarabachigu. I mean the torang avgamalo meresangai mereadomai. Running take buchu na vital no.
Mr. Kamida, on to the opposition leader.
Just to add to what the two former deputy prime ministers have already alluded to, it was the tax-free zone was there to entice investors to come into. Government's responsibility is to provide the public goods, and government has tasseled the road, King's Road, between Korovou. I think the remaining area was between Wanyambuka and Dama. That has been done. Electricity, we have electricity connected now. The next step now is utilities, water. Water is one of the big ones, and then connectivity as well. We are quite good with connectivity. Let me go to the water issue and perhaps focus on this area. A few years back, we started to try and see if we can get investors in here. We approached Amras, if he can bring his poultry farms that are in Ravo and the other areas to bring it here. These big sheds that he has. But his only concern to me is bring the water there, and then I can, because poultry needs a lot of. Now we have Namau, we've talked about the water issue. So it makes sense to you now how the big picture creates the environment so that we can solve most of the socio-economic issues. Let me touch on cocoa. Kenda tau, chikubi kento na cocoa in Namau na. Au baka murir tu keda na nondo tu ale bul mai Sweden. O scale mai nreba minibus wabo kitungango. Dober to na nondo to le chikusar mai Natali. Saro le partner tu kya wate ke na dua na kaichavani ro da chocolate ti mai kya. O creative we ko why can't you come back to Korovou and create that chocolate factory? We upscale it in Korovou. Bete chiki Korovou na cocoa. Sa tukuna o mother ni ikakana binakatundo chiki ke. Cocoa binakatundo talaga chiki ke. Nengagin chocolate me lago make. But there were some small differences amongst us on where to put that factory that resulted in nothing moving forward. I don't want to go into the detail, but I know the detail. Ginger. There's big potential for ginger. I went as far as trying to get a big player to come and set up a ginger factory in here. But it all goes back to the... And then the other factor in here is law and order. When government has created that environment, law and order must be at its best so that we protect the investors. Kenda tu na turang maraman telebu tu bulat akan kene bagarau ka ku ni sarla ko na tunggal indon to katalitiko na iseles usin tu ni ado tiku ya na nonde itabi. We want Telebu and this corridor to thrive. Nakani bagandrew China Asa ambiu to bertu menondo tu menasau, berarti kem do na wakan tu weni buka, berarti nondo tu China. Ambiu stika na kan bukan ru China. Ya sa lele tinga na China. Arto bin kata na tikino welebu me lahu mai na misin da besuti na lemon karen daka. Utu tinga na baka salu tu I want to give is this. There are opportunities in this. Let's not only waste for investors, but to go into partnerships. Joint ventures. Let's find opportunities. Talk to us. Talk to the authorities. We can bring a partner and go through a nurturing period so that we can work with those that have the capital. We provide our resources as equity so that we can go into bigger things. Opportunities are there. Let's make the most of it.
Navolevo, sir. Navolevo Korovou, 2 hours ago we promised you that this evening would be about you. And you came and you brought your questions, you put the relevant leaders and authorities on the spot, and we really thank you for that, for carrying the province's name and also coming up with the questions that had the ministers and also relevant authorities answering this afternoon. And just before we say goodnight, we just want you to hear your voices back, so because every single one was actually written down. So tonight, Televu spoke about water. The Venunga and its neighbors were $7.5 million of pipeworks and a new pump station are also now promised within 18 months. The Tikin of Saukasa asking to apply together, and Verata, Vungale, and Namara still waiting for piped water. You also spoke about power, the rural actions and the connections promised in the new financial year. The villagers of Ndaku waiting on the grid and Nanduri told to wait its turn. You also spoke about health, a hospital that has gone months without an X-ray technician, sending our people down the road to Nosori. And also you spoke about children classrooms lost to the tornado in 2020, and students learning in tents, and Televu North High School, Televu North College asking for ground and for an upgrade.
And we covered a lot tonight. That was only half of it. Tonight we also spoke about drugs sold openly, in the words of your own elders, past the point where villages can fight it alone. And we heard the answer, the Vanua, the church and the police together, the 161 call number, sent a call, and also the new police laws expected to go to 1681, and remember that for those who have raised the issue about safety and security, call 1681. That's the message from the police. You spoke about cattle theft. You talked about the dairy farms getting affected, the dairy industry, what can be done, the markets as well. Where's the markets? You raised about minibus fares. You talked about roads, village bylaws, the PSV process, and even the half-finished seawall and the issues surrounding that, and how things cannot go right when all stakeholders are not talking to the right people, and we end up into situations like that. We also talked about many other things, but like things like ice plant and water issues, what we can do to take it forward, and just like to assure you that we have set up a deadline process based on what has been said, and we'll have an active register through the Fijian Media Association, where we'll continue to monitor and ensure that these things are done. This is the 6th town hall for the Fijian Media Association held together, and this one in Korovou. This is democracy in action. We know at times we've said to you, please keep your answers short. It's to make sure that we get as many questions as possible. It's not about being disrespectful. We've also asked you to keep your questions to the point. Again, not being disrespectful. It's making sure that your voices, the multiple of voices, can be heard, and the leaders who have made themselves available here on Friday afternoon and into Friday evening to answer to that. Because going back to what I said, the main thing is when people get elected, they are answerable to the people. It starts from the people, that's you here in Korovou and every other place we go to, and it ends with the people.
Just before we wrap up tonight, our special thanks goes out to the honorable members of parliament. We have the Honorable Minister Sakias Inditoka, the Attorney General Sira Mituranga, and also the members of the opposition, the Honorable Ines Seriratu, and also Honorable Premila Kumar. Also special acknowledgement to the Honorable Manoka Mekamida and also Professor Biman Prasad for being with us tonight, and also the Honorable Agni Deo Singh and the Assistant Minister Penny Ravunao, and also the Assistant Minister Naisa Tunedeva. Thank you very much for being with us tonight, and all of you that made an effort to be with us tonight. Thank you very much. All those representatives from the relevant authorities, thank you very much for coming out and answering the questions of the people of Teilevu. And just before that,
this series is supported by BBC Media Action. We thank you, BBC Media Action, under the Fijian Media Association banner. And most of all to you, the people of Korovou, Teilevu, Vinaka Vakalevu, from all of us across Fiji's media. Good night, Korovou, and thank you, Fiji, for joining us tonight.
Naka.